as you all know, there were some rumours previously that the next Call of Duty game would be taking place in World War II. And of course, yesterday we did have confirmation that indeed the next Call of Duty game will be called Call of Duty World War II. Of course, I did speculate in my previous video that that would be a working title, but it seems that's the final title of the game as it was confirmed, and we will be getting a full reveal next week, but there has been a bit of a leak. Now, just to get it out of the way, I will not be showing any images or anything like that from the leak in this video. It's purely just going to be whatever gameplay I have lying around. But basically, it was a retailer's promo material that leaked some details about the story, release date, and so on. So, if you're trying to keep yourself spoiler free, I suggest you take this as your warning and get out now. We good? Alright. Cool. So, according to this promo material, which again could either be A, incorrect, B, fake, or something else entirely, so take with a pinch of salt as always, but according to this promo material, it's going to be releasing on the 3rd of November. Now that seems pretty about right, to be honest, for a Call of Duty game that usually releases around October, November time, and it's usually right in the middle of the busy Christmas period, so yeah. Now, what's interesting is we have confirmation of course, a campaign, hardly shocking, as well as, unsurprisingly, the main event, the multiplayer, but also co-op. And according to the promo material, it's going to have a new and original story. It's going to be a standalone game experience, so it's not just the single player but with your friends, it is its entirely own story, which could be really, really interesting. Perhaps focus on the struggle of two soldiers as they perhaps get separated from the rest of their squad or what have you, and they go back to where they're supposed to be. Something along those lines. That could be really, really cool and would fit the theme, I think, quite well. Now it seems we're going to be focusing on the Normandy landing, as it does have in the description of the story, quotes, land in Normandy on D-Day and battle across Europe through iconic locations in history's most monumental war, blah 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 blah, classic Call of Duty combat, so on and so forth. So they're very much saying we're going back to the roots of Call of Duty, what people love about this series. Now, many people loved Infinite Warfare for what it was, but it was quite the divisive title among Call of Duty fans. It is, of course, the most far future the series has ever gone, and was actually quite interesting, I thought. But for many people, they were not keen, and we actually saw Battlefield 1 do really, really well, when, obviously, usually Call of Duty smacks Battlefield around, obviously Call of Duty saw a massive drop in sales versus Black Ops 3. Obviously it's still sold by the truckload, but in comparison to previous sales it did fall a rather brutal 50%, if I recall correctly. So obviously they don't just make these decisions on a whim, they were obviously thinking of returning to the roots anyway, but it does seem quite nicely timed that after the rather divisive Infinite Warfare we do have a return to World War II. Myself, I'm not really overly keen. It's not really my kind of game. This Call of Duty is not really the kind of series for me, like, period, to be honest. The most interesting games are probably the least interesting games for Call of Duty fans, that being Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, so, what I like about these games is probably not what most people are looking for, but this game definitely is, I think, what most people are looking for. Now, it doesn't really tell us much about the story. It's very, tells the story of an unbreakable brotherhood of common men fighting to preserve freedom, yada yada yada. You get the idea. So we don't really know details about the character's story. All we know is that it's going to be, again, Normandy on D-Day, and that there is going to be a standalone co-op, which is actually pretty interesting. And if you pre-order, there is going to be private beta access as well. Now there are some images which give us some small sneak peeks of the game, not very much at all, to be honest with you, but there is going to be a link below. Again, I'm not showing this in the video for obvious reasons, so if you want to see those, check out the description, you will find them there for your perusal. So, of course, we'll have the full reveal of this next week with a live stream, so we don't have to wait all that long to find out all the nitty-gritty details, but until then, at least you have this lake to get your teeth stuck into. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.